Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cassie Ray and I'm so excited that you're here. I run the blog and ministry of Honestly Bear, and I honestly can say that I am so grateful for you guys. And if you would like, please subscribe and stay around and stick around because we have a lot of videos coming your way. We have a lot of exciting changes, a lot of things happening with Honestly Bear, and I am just so honored. I started this channel, if you don't know. I started this channel about 4 years ago, and I have been doing ministry videos since then. And I have just tried, this has always been like a hobby, kind of like a fun thing to do. But this past year has actually started to become like a business and something that I can run and do. And it's quite amazing. And also, if you don't know, I have a vlog channel where I talk about things, and this is my cat, Ava. But I do have a vlog channel where I vlog my life, basically just showing what it's really like to be a Christian, because I feel like a lot of Christian vloggers, family vloggers, people show a very unrealistic portion of being a Christian, what it's like being a Christian. And I feel like people have a lot of unrealistic views as to what a Christian is. And so my job in life and what God, in my purposes in life, is to show what Christianity is, to show what the true, real side of Christianity, to give you the harsh realities of what Christianity is, give you a pep talk of what it is, and just do the things such as that. So if you don't know, this is a coffee chat. We have coffee or a drink of any sort. This is iced coffee. And I got it from Sonic because I actually have my bachelorette trip this weekend, and so today actually, I'm leaving. And so I wanted to treat myself and get a iced coffee because I don't really treat myself very often, and if I do treat myself, it's with an iced coffee or some sort of coffee that I never had to make. I don't know why that's so fun or why it's so fantastic, but yes, if you have any other good iced coffee recommendations or whatever, leave them down below in the comments. But anyways, I just wanted to make a video about conviction because I've gotten a lot of questions throughout the years, a lot of everything throughout the years talking about conviction and how to navigate that. So as I say, or I try to say in all my videos, remember to back this up with biblical truth. This is just my own version of what I get out of the biblical truth of whatever topic I'm talking about. So just remember to back it up with biblical truth. This is not a how-to video. This is not a whatever. God does different things in everybody's life. And so what worked for me and my story that I'll be sharing with you guys is not going to be the same for you. It might be similar, but God transforms everything if you let him. So that's just my spiel. So let's get into our video. We're going to talk about what conviction is, how that kind of like feels in your heart, and then how to act upon it. So let's get started. So what is conviction? Conviction is this stirring in your heart that you feel that God is calling you to do something different, that he's calling you to do something more. It could be in what you buy at the grocery store. It could be the music that you listen to. It could be the videos that you watch. It could be a job change. It could be a college decision that you're making. It could be a marriage decision, any type of couples, anything. It could literally be anything that could be put in your heart to do God's will. It is a feeling of having to do God's will and having a very strong yearning to want to fulfill that. And that is just how you feel within your heart. You feel like, I have to do this. Like, I have to become and do more. Like, something can't be right. Like, I have to, this has to be better than what it was. Like, for instance, this is like the smallest example that I can have, and then we're going to talk about bigger examples, but this is the smallest one that I have. And it's talking about like just, so for me, I have had migraines my whole life. I have had migraines hormonally, non-hormonally, migraines just my whole life. And one of the things that I have done that God convicted me of is finding an answer to the cure of my non-hormonal migraines and finding out ways to help that, ways to cope with that, ways to do things. Because recently I got a migraine, but I think that that was completely different. But anyway, so I've been on the hunt for how to get rid of my migraines, how to just relieve myself of that, because it's so difficult. If you have ever had migraines, like chronic migraines, you understand it's not fun, it's not easy, and it's very difficult to be able to go through your day-to-day life whenever you have that. So I prayed about it a long time. This was one of the longest prayers that I've had, and like learning where to go, how to do things, everything like that. And I did so much research, you guys, so much research about how to get rid of them, all the different ways, all the different acupuncture ways, all the different whatever, all the natural remedies, all the things like that, and nothing seemingly worked. I never did the acupuncture, like, you know, like the one where you can get like the, oh no, it's right here, the piercing in your ear. I never did that one, because again, mine are more hormonal than they are actually like just like a migraine. Like my mom gets migraines from like flashing lights and stuff. I don't have stuff like that. My migraines are purely hormonal. So I've been on the hunt to try to figure out things. And I found out that fragrance is my issue. Fragrance messes with my hormones and it makes me have headaches. And I recently had a migraine, and the migraine, I feel like, just from knowledge that I know now, was started by one of these like Scentsy things that my fiance had in his truck. It's like, you know, those like hanging trees, those really cheap like scented things to put in your car. I feel like that like really messed with my head and gave me a migraine like none other, and it hurt so bad. Because I don't get migraines the instant I smell fragrance. It's after a long period of time of smelling a fragrance that it bothers me. So I had to seriously like transition everything out, revamp everything, get all new things, and it took a lot of time and a lot of effort, and it did take some money, not a lot of money, but it did take time, effort, and money to be able to make that happen. But ever since then, I have felt amazing. My energy is up. I feel like a whole new person, and it was all because of fragrance. Now that's not to say like anything with fragrance is terrible for you. It's just specifically in my situation, I needed something to change. God convicted me of continuing my search. He continued to make me keep learning about hormones and continually learning about my body and learning about everything and learning how my fertility worked and learning how everything worked, so that way I would be able to make an educated decision as to what to do about it. And that is just a very, again, a small example as to what God can do. He can also do bigger things in your life, like match you with the person that you're supposed to be with for the rest of your life. He can change your job. He can change anything. He can revolutionize your life through conviction, and you have to continually like pray to him about things, learn about things, and everything like that. So whenever you feel conviction, what do you do next? For me, I always actually pray more about the situation. I ask him questions, I ask him things, I pray about it. I write it in a journal so that way I can like read and like look back on things, because it's so fascinating to see how God works in your life. And I think if you journal, or you're really into journaling, my fiance hates journaling, so journaling would not be for him. But if you're into journaling, I recommend, what is going on? I would recommend keeping a journal, writing in that journal, and then being able to reread everything that you ask God and seeing how he answered your prayers. For me, I normally write a T-chart on a piece of paper, and I write my question, and then whenever God answers that question, I write it on the other side. So I have a question and answer section on the T-chart on a piece of paper in my journal, and I continually like write questions that I have or fears that I have, and God will always answer them. He always does if you ask. He always does if you ask. But it might not be in the time that you want it in. It might not be anything like that, but he always does. And so keeping that T-chart just on a piece of paper, and then whenever you realize like, oh, that was a question or a fear I had, let me write that down. That is what God is going to do in your life. And so that's what I usually do whenever I feel conviction. I feel it in my heart. I feel this tug of having to do something, having to do and use my gifts for God, and using that for his glory. That is like the main thing that he uses conviction for. And he does that for in your own personal life, for again, like fragrance. That was like my own personal issue. That was my own personal life that I had to come to find and figure out for me. But he also does it for your talents and gifts for others. Now, here's my story on how I was able to listen to God's conviction and help other people. So, again, this is just my story. Continually track this with biblical fact. Okay. So, mine is about how I started this YouTube channel. In high school, I had this strong yearning to talk and speak to people around the world. I wanted to travel. I wanted to do things. I wanted to speak. And I did. I did at DCYC. I have that video actually saved to a playlist that you guys can check out. But I talked at DCYC. I loved it. It's literally a dream of mine to go on stage and to talk to people and to be a part of explaining God's glory and God's presence and his amazingness. Like, I love Jackie Francois. I love Sarah Swafford. I love all of those people. Those are just a small amount to name a few. There's plenty. But I love them, and I still do, and I love what they do, and I wanted to do that for years. Like, years. And I still want to do that as my dream. Like, that's my all-time job that I would ever want to have. Anyways, I wanted to do that so badly. I knew that I had the gift of speaking. I knew I had the words to be able to speak, and I knew that whenever I speak on stage, it is compelling because God is there. God is the compeller of whatever I'm talking about. And every single time that I would write down something, I would never actually follow that, because God would just come in and speak, and the Holy Spirit would just do its thing, how it's supposed to do. And yeah, so that's a conviction that I felt in my heart in high school. I think it was like my senior year. I felt it a little bit my junior year. Actually, I think maybe it was my sophomore year. But I never did anything about it until my senior year. And my senior year, I remember texting my mom, and I was like, Mom, I think that I should start a YouTube channel because I feel like I have a lot to say about God. I feel like I have a lot to say about things in general, and I really want to be able to share that with the world. And she was like, I think you should. Like, I think that this is something that you are called to do. And so thus I created this YouTube channel. No, I did not grow that much. No, I didn't do anything that much, but you guys that are subscribed to me and do the things that like and become a part of my family, the things that this channel has done, and my Instagram and everything that God has done and transformed through this channel, through my Instagram, through my Twitter, through everything, and seeing people's transformations and hearing about them and hearing like that the small things that I do help them is something that I can never ever take credit for. God is the one that has created that, made this happen, everything. And I say that because his glory is personified through that conviction. The conviction that I had, his glory is personified and made into what you guys see and what you guys want to hear. And the words that are coming out of my mouth are not mine, they're the Holy Spirit's. And through the conviction that I had, I am able to speak to people around the world. I'm able to fulfill my dream job, and I'm able to do this dream job that I have of being able to speak to people around the world and give them and help them and let them know about the glory of God. And I'm able to reach people I never thought I was able to, and to hear the stories of people like crying just off of an Instagram story that I made, or something that really spoke to their heart. I know that God is working through it, and I know that He is going to continue to work through it, and I know that I have to keep pushing for Him, because I did take a year break from posting videos. It was my first year in college, and you know, like how you just do all the college things, the things that you don't need to do. By the way, I do have a whole entire testimony story if you want to check it out, and I talk about all of it. But anyways, I went through a whole phase of like not being godly, not being a part of God, not being a part of anything. And again, that's my story, that's my testimony, and I'm very proud of the testimony. Not proud of what I did, but I'm proud of me for finding God again and doing everything the way that I should. Anyways, I came back to this channel this past year because I started a new channel, which was anyways, you just need to watch the whole video because I talk about that. But basically what I'm saying is that I came back to this channel, I kept posting, and God has kept blessing me over and over and over again with you guys, and blessing me with testimonies that you guys really want to know about it. And I'm just so blessed and honored to be able to be a part of that. But I say this story, and I told you this part of my story because God convicts you of things to help others. Christianity is one body, right? We are one body underneath Christ. Although many parts, we are one body. And the different parts can be different things for different people. And like my mom, she's a teacher. She loves being with kids. She loves teaching kids, and that is where her heart is. And that is what she's so good at. And that's what her gift is for the world. It's not mine. I would definitely not be a very good teacher. But like in a classroom setting, I would not be very good. But that is her story. That is her love. That is what she does. That's her gifts and her talents that she uses for other people. She is an amazing writer, and she has a blog, and that's her gift to others. And I'm saying this because sometimes we get caught up in the fact that our convictions that God gives us aren't big enough for something. Like they aren't good enough, they aren't big enough, they aren't going to do amazing things. But God really isn't asking us sometimes to just go out and do big things. Sometimes He's asking us to just do the smallest thing for someone, right? Like walk up and pray with someone, go up and talk to someone, give them a compliment. There's some things that God convicts us that are very small and minute, that might just be a one-on-one conversation with someone. But that is what God is calling us to do. And saying yes to that is answering a conviction in your heart, and it's saying yes to God. And it's just such a glorious thing to do. And I know that sometimes my convictions that I have, I compare to others, and I'm like, that's just really not good enough. Or sometimes I'll even answer God's conviction, and I'll go ahead and do something that I feel so convicted of, but then I feel like nothing happens. Like I feel like nothing came from it. And then a year later, that video or that post or that whatever that I made is then blowing up. And some things are just not in, like God wants you to make it now and do it now, but He has a time and a place for everything. And I am just like astonished by the fact that He has even done that through anything that I've done. And just know that God doesn't convict you of things that won't help you, right? Like He will always help you, and your convictions will always be to better your life in the long run. Maybe not in the short run, but in the long run. And listening to His purpose that He has for you, knowing your talents and how He's going to use those talents. So important. And I can't stress this enough. Praying through the conviction, praying through your fears, letting God know of your fears, and just truly showing that you're here to listen, that you're willing to do things, but you're afraid. And He can give you the courage to step up in your faith. He can give you the courage, but you have to ask. You have to show him that you care, that you're listening, and that you have the love in your heart for that. Conviction can be one of the hardest things you will ever do in your life, but it can also be one of the most rewarding things. And I say that to say this. God never promises anything in Christianity and showing your Christianity to be easy. Nothing is easy if God is included, but he will say that is worth it, right? Whatever God is convicting you of, most likely it's not an easy fix. Most likely it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be just a walk in the park. It's going to be difficult. And through difficulties, it is going to be the most rewarding thing that you will ever do. And it's going to be the most worth it thing that you've ever done. And God will make it bearable. Again, he doesn't make things easy. He makes things bearable because you have him in his life. Your heart right here, only God can fulfill the whole entire being of your heart. Nothing else can. And we keep chasing these dreams and we keep feeling like we need something more whenever God is sitting there and he's like, I'm trying to talk to you. I'm trying to get you in the right area of your life, and I'm trying to help you be inspired, motivated, etc. And you're just not paying attention to me because you're trying to chase after all these other things, when really our heart is designed for God. And our convictions that we have are designed by God, and he can put it in our heart because he is the one that should be residing there. So, my challenge to you today is that if you have a conviction in your heart, pray to God about it. If you have already been praying to God about it, start making a plan to do it. Father Mike Schmitz has made multiple videos over this, and so if you would like, go check out Ascension Presents, and he goes over almost all of the different types of convictions that you can have, how to create a plan. And so yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys about that, let you guys know. If you have any prayer requests at all, there is a link for the prayer request. Just click on that, send in your prayer request. I get it through email, no one else sees it. I pray about it and then delete the email. So I just want to say thank you. Please subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in my next video. I'm sending my love, my peace, and my prayers. And if you would like, please join me with this prayer for today. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, amen. Lord, I thank you so much for these people gathering all the way around the world to come watch this channel. I ask, Lord, that if they are feeling a conviction from you, if they are unsure, if they feel very confused, that you are able to fulfill that. You are able to give them direction, and you are able to give them the resources they need to be able to fulfill that conviction that they have in their heart. I ask, if they feel a loss of heart, that you don't let them lose their heart in you, that they continue to strive to you, and that whatever feelings that they are feeling, that they know that they are legitimate and that they can bring them to you and lay them down at the cross, and you can help heal them. Again, keep them safe, keep them loved. And we are sending our love and our prayers for this country, and we are sending the prayers of the world to you. And I ask that we have a moment of silence for all of those things, because the world needs healing and the world needs help. And as a final note, I would like to say that I ask Christians to finally wake up, and they wake up to God's glory, and they wake up to what is right, and they wake up to the truth. I ask that they are truth seekers through you. Amen. Thank you guys for coming to this channel, and I will see you in my next video.